Elena. I am from Hamburg, Germany, and I'm a self-discovery and mindset coach. So my story is probably a story that a couple of people can relate to. I'm coming from a corporate background. So I started working at a startup and then was like kind of getting into like the corporate world because the startup grew into a corporate. And with that, there was a lot of stress. There was a lot of like deadlines to be held. I was rising up in the company ranks. So I had a team. At the end, I had a team of 19 people. And I was good at my job. I was really good, but the pressure of like balancing a social life and also having like these deadlines and like working overtime, that was kind of expected. It's basically what a lot of us are going through when we are in the corporate world, where it's like working, and productivity being the most crucial thing and the thing that's kind of like a benchmark when it comes to work. And it's like you need to have certain hours. You identify with how productive you are. And therefore, I was running myself into the ground. And right now, like by now, I can totally accept this and take responsibility for it, because my ego was very attached to me being productive. It's like, oh, this is an opportunity to get further in life, to further my career, like really career driven. But my mental health was declining immensely. And when COVID hit in 2020, for a lot of people, that was really, really bad. And I totally understand that. For me, it was possibly the best thing that could have happened to me, because it forced me to slow down. There weren't any like events anymore, as I worked a lot on events. There weren't any photo shootings anymore. So a lot of what I loved about my job, which was working with people, seeing people, connecting with people, making new connections, this all went away. And I was here at my apartment. I was like, okay, yeah, what am I doing now? And I knew I was good at my job. I loved the people I worked with, but I knew I didn't want to do it anymore. But my fear was, what else am I going to do? I didn't know what I was good at, because what I was good at was my job, but it didn't make me happy anymore. And that was the point where I got to know my coach. And when we started working together, she was asking all the right questions that I maybe had asked myself in like a minute or so, but I pushed away very fast, because the imposter syndrome came and it's like, yeah, no, what are you going to do? Like, everyone said that becoming self-employed is super, super like insecure. Like, you cannot do it. It's not safe. It's like a lot of money. And it's like, just don't do it. Just stay where you are. Like, it's good money. You're making good money. It's a job you like. It's people you like. But something in me, like my gut feeling was like, no, I can't do this anymore. And so by 2021, exactly, I think it was the 7th or the 8th of January of 2021, I handed in my resignation. And then I had another 5 months till the end, because I was a team lead. So my resignation period was a little longer. And after that, I already knew that I wanted to start with Coach Training EDU. I got to know this about a friend, through a friend, and who already did the Wellness Life Coach training. And I started doing that. And in this time, it's been almost a year now since I started. And it's been a crazy ride, because it started with me doing journaling or like self-care workshops. In between, I went to Portugal in between to just study from there and just get in time out and just be in the sun a little bit. I then started writing my business plan, preparing for everything to launch my own business. And in December of 2021, I officially launched Inner Space Coaching. So I named it Inner Space because it's just like inner space, of course, like your heart space, like your mind space. It's like caring for you. Then it's also like this inner, like it's not about anything that's coming from the outside. It's like what's inside of you, and you have all the answers inside of you. And then also space, like I give my clients the space to express themselves. I give them the space to dream, to explore, to be non-judgmental to themselves. And this has been such a great ride, because I've been in my own business now for 6 months. And I'm almost able now to sustain myself, which is so cool to say that, because I was very scared I would not be able to do that. But now I'm working with one-on-one clients. I'm working with groups. I have my own group program that's like renewing every 3 months. That's building a community. I'm working with corporates, basically going full circle because I'm working with my last employer again. And it's so fun because I get to do something that I'm so passionate about at a company, like as a freelancer at a company that was my family for the past 6 years, where I spent so much time, where I've gotten to know these people and like getting to love these people, and making an impact with what I'm passionate about is just the most amazing feeling. And knowing that they support me, that they're grateful also for being able to sustain this relationship, it's just everything. And my story, I feel like it's the story of finding out who you are and not being afraid of tapping into who you actually want to be, and not keeping yourself small because you're telling yourself, oh, I can't do this because of reason XYZ, because that just stems from fear. And I had so much fear inside of me. And I know so many people who feel the same way, who feel like they're stuck, who feel like they need to do what they want to do. But if you ask them actually, like, and I asked myself, like, if I would do what makes me happy, and I knew it could not fail, and I knew I would make enough money to kind of sustain myself, to have a living, what would I do? And if you ask that, a lot of people, they would not stay in the jobs they're at right now. And this is just the power of like what we can do if we trust that, and if we trust in ourselves initially, if we trust that what we are capable of is, or what our gut feeling is telling us. Because if there's something that kind of like is a passion for you, that's there for a reason. That's no like, there's nothing like this gut feeling. It's there for a reason. It has to be there. And that means you should act on it and trust that you know what's right before your rational mind comes in. It's like, oh, but this and this and this, and taxes and health insurance and yada, yada, yada. So that's and I think the moral of my story is, I don't want to say everyone can, like, if I can do it, you can do it. No, we all have like different jumping points, like jump off points, and like different bases, but just trusting in yourself and that your dream is valid. And if you're not happy where you are, then really ask yourself, where do you want to be? And what's the first step you can make? A simple step. What is the first step you can make? Don't look at the end of the line at like your goal and you're like, oh, I want to be, I don't know, I want to be an astronaut. And you're like, oh, I can't reach that. What's the first step? And just go from there. What inspired me to become a coach is basically my background in leadership. I led a team in influencer marketing, and I kind of found out that my passion also lies with supporting people to find into their mindset, to support them to live a life, quite frankly, that they're obsessed with, because that's been my story. I tapped into this whole realm of coaching because I got a coach as well. And this opened up a whole new world for me. And that inspired me to become one myself, because I really wanted to do good and to do my part in this society and make more people believe in that they can live a life that they're actually obsessed with and in love with. So my coaching business right now is kind of split into 3 parts. I started working with one-on-one clients, so private coachings. Also ventured into, I have a group coaching program. It's not really coaching, it's more like women's circles. But this is something I do like every 3 months. It's like a new container. It's called Moon Babes. We do it like to the full and to the new moon. So it's really fun and personal. And it's building a community basically. And the third part is I'm also venturing into corporate trainings right now. So corporate wellness trainings, mental wellness trainings. And I've rolled this out with the company I worked at last. And now I'm pitching it to different companies as well, trying to bring coaching to like mental wellness coaching to corporates to support them in creating a work environment that's just not like just focused on performance, but also really focused on their employees and making them stay in their positions longer, loving their positions, and just caring for their mindfulness and for their mental health, because that is so important. And a lot more companies are realizing this as we speak. My vision for my coaching business is, it's limitless right now. It's true. I basically, at one point, I do want to have a team. I want to build this to be, first of all, I want to build a community. That's like number one on my list. I want to be able to create a community of mainly women for once, and then also like incorporate men as well. But right now, most of my clients are women. So I want to create a community where there's not like one, like, poster child, like one mentor, guru or whatever, but it's more like a community where women can connect with each other and find ways to collaborate, because I think that is so important as women, for us to like support each other and collaborate, because there's so much potential in us. And I think that is untapped, and that's like natural for men, but for women, like, we can support this more. So this is the vision, like one vision for my coaching business. I want to work more with one-on-one clients, have my own programs, and just because I love being in groups, like I love doing group coaching, and it's just, those two are like my visions. And other than that, I'm pretty open. That's the thing. I stopped, and coaching helped me with that. I stopped being so rigid about like, I need a 5-year plan, I need a 10-year plan. I've gotten way more like loose with my plans. And that comes from a type A personality. So, and from a perfectionist. So I'm really embracing right now, going with the flow and just seeing what opens up, because most of the things that I've been doing now in those 6 months that I had my business, a lot of things I did not anticipate. And that's the fun of it. My advice to give to someone who wants to become a coach is be open. Don't pressure yourself with having to have all the answers. You're not there to provide someone who comes to you as a coach with answers. That's not your job. Your job is to give them a space, provide them with a space so they can figure out answers for themselves. And because that at the beginning was hard for me. I was like, I need to fix someone's problems. That's why they come to me. And if I don't do that, they're disappointed. No, it's truly the thing that most people need, like urgently, is a place where they can actually just be listened to, where someone gives them the space where they can just speak without someone needing to have an answer, but like being listened to and holding the space. That is like my number one advice for someone wanting to become a coach. I have quite a few clients that are way younger than I am. What I actually do tell them all the time is, you have time. You have time, and you can do whatever you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be. And the only person that's standing in your way, or the only thing that's standing in your way, is you and your beliefs and your mindset. And another thing, I know that these have been more than one, but the advice I would give to someone younger than me is stop focusing on the things that other people like think you should do or want you to do, and start figuring out who you actually want to be, what you actually want to do, without anyone interfering, without anyone just telling you who you have to be or you should be. What is it you're passionate about? And then if everything would go right, if you knew that you could not fail, what would you do? And that's where your passion lies. But a lot of times we're too scared to actually go that route, because everyone else around us who's still trapped in this mindset of lack instead of the abundance mindset, they're like, oh no, but this could go wrong and this could go wrong. And so they keep getting stuck in the fear. And it's just so beautiful to see like the clients that I have right now that are like 21, 22, being so incredibly vulnerable and brave, that they're like, no, I'm going to go my way. And yes, my parents may not agree, or other people say I shouldn't do this right now, but it feels good to me. And it's incredible that how this generation that's like coming now, how much further they are than I was, for example, when I was 21. I'm amazed all of the time. So yeah, that would be my advice. To me, coaching means having a space to completely be free to explore whatever it is that's on my mind. When I go into coaching sessions as like the coachee, it's a space for me where I can dream big, where I can share my worries and my doubts, but also my wins and my happiness and my like everything that happens in my life right now. And it's a space where there's no judgment. It's a completely judgment-free zone, and that's what makes me feel safe. Like no one can make a safe space for me. I can only make a safe space for myself. But when I have a coach who gives me the feeling that I can create this space with my coach, that's the most amazing thing. So coaching to me means having the space where all of me is welcome and I can explore all of me. So coaching has changed and impacted my life in the way that I wouldn't be here if I hadn't started a coaching, like not my coaching journey as a coach, but actually getting my first coach. And it was actually quite like, it was fate how I met her. And up to this day, she has played a huge role in me actually going down this route. Because when I told her that I was thinking about becoming a coach myself, she was like, yes, I completely agree. You have all of this. And this made me feel super safe. And so coaching to me, it has impacted me so much. Not only personally, but I can see this in my relationships. I can see this in my family relations, in my friend relationships. It's impacted all of me and my mindset the most, because my default is no longer fear, but I'm more likely inclined to go down the road of compassion and love, and just like not directly think everything is going to go down get downhill from here, but rather be like, oh, but like, what's my learning in here? And so this sounds like so cliche and so like so small, but it's been a total like game changer. So what I learned most about myself while being in the training with Coach Training EDU is that I can believe in myself more, that my inner critic, that was a big point, like getting to know my inner critic, that was a crucial part, because that person was not doing any good, was doing a lot of harm. It's a lot of imposter syndrome. And I learned also through the help of my coaching class, because the women in there were just absolutely amazing. And they were so supportive. And I learned that I can trust myself to get things done correctly, that I'm safe whatever I do. And that's what I learned about myself. Like when I open up, when I'm speaking from the heart, when I'm honest with myself and with others, that then I cannot fail, even because failure, like what is failure? Failure is never like a bad thing. It's like you learn something about yourself. And in that instance, like failure is never bad. It's a stepping stone towards like something bigger. So it's not a setback. I don't believe in setbacks. It's always just a rerouting. And so that's one thing I have learned about myself a lot, that I can actually tap into this kind of thinking instead of thinking, oh my God, I just messed up my whole life. So without Coach Training EDU, I probably wouldn't have started my coaching business, because I wanted, like, the reason why I started the training was because I knew I wanted to become a coach, and I wanted to have the credentials. I wanted to be trained. I wanted to know, how can I actually, like, how do I lead a coaching class, like a coaching session? What are the tools that I can use? I wanted to have the experience to provide my future clients with the best help that I could possibly offer. And with that, like with us having practice clients, I think I had like 4 practice clients during the whole journey. This helped so much because I was literally coaching every single week, not only in class, but I was coaching, like we were coaching each other from our coaching class. I was coaching my practice clients. And this was just so helpful because I could really see an improvement in myself, in my skills, week after week after week. And that made me safer as a coach itself. Like I was able to see my growth, and that made me more confident going out and actually building my own business and deciding, yes, I can do this. I am good at this. And yes, people can pay me for what I do. Before that, imposter syndrome was huge. It was like, oh my God, am I good enough? If I'm not solving their problems, like, am I worth the money? Am I worth getting paid? And now it's just a no-brainer. It's like, yes, because I can hold the space, and Coach Training EDU has helped me immensely with like cultivating these skills, not only through the coaching classes and my classmates, but especially also through my trainers, and so I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. So when it comes to my biggest influences, it's first of all, my environment that I'm in. And with that, I mean, my friends. I have such inspiring friends. It's insane. They're all from like different walks of life. They all have their different journey, but what kind of connects us all is this hunger for like creating something for ourselves, to be happy and to be truly happy, not in the sense of like, oh, we want to create like a whole empire or whatever. It's just like the people I surround myself with that influence and inspire me are actually the people who genuinely want to be happy and happiness, and they know that happiness comes from the inside. And over the years, I found that I attract those people, like the people attract me. So it's like, it's mutual. And I think that's my biggest influence. And then I also, I have my business coach who inspires me and influences me a lot. And I would say my mom. My mom has been such a huge influence for me because she always believed in me. She always believed, like, she supported me in whatever I wanted to do. Of course, she also had her doubts with like the self-employment and everything. But in the end, she's like, I believe you can do it. And having her support and having her like just telling me like whatever I need, like she will be there. That's a huge influence. And she's a single mom. So she basically raised me and my brother, and she's always been such a role model for me. And I knew that if like she did it, and if I'm even just like 1% like my mom, like I have the resilience to do whatever I want to do as well. Okay, the teacher that inspired me, like influenced me the most, it's actually hard to say because I don't really think I have someone. I think I was always more inspired by people who were around me instead of like, and I never really thought about it that way, but like I rarely had someone who was like really inspiring to me. I know I had someone in like kindergarten. There was like one teacher, and she's like, with her demeanor and everything, like she was such a role model for me. And after that, I think I always had like a little bit of a problem with authority. Not that I was like acting out or anything, but I always I think I always had this kind of leadership that I wanted to be in a role that involved leadership, because I wanted to create and change something and just, yeah, further change. I think that's it. So I can't really think of someone who was like, oh, I really looked up to that person. It was more like celebrities, like celebrity people. It was like Emma Watson, for example, huge inspiration. Or Jamila Jamil. Those like kind of like empowering like female figures. Those were more like an influence on me than, let's say, my teachers or my trainers. Yeah. you.